Well, they finally did it. The Mountaineers win a game on the road away from Hope Coliseum in Morgantown for the first time this season. It's January 21st, and we're saying that for the first time. Crazy. What a time to be alive. Mountaineers get it done, 75-63 over Arizona State. We got you covered here in this episode, recapping the big win for the Mountaineers on the road. This is the Mountaineer Moment, your source for all things West Virginia football and basketball. From pregame to postgame coverage and breaking news, we've got you covered. Let's go. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Mountaineer Moment. My name's Troy. I am your host here on the Mountaineer Moment, and this is your source for all things West Virginia football and basketball. If you are new to the show, welcome to you. We would love for you to hit that subscribe button, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. You know the drill. This is episode 132. Again, we would love for you to join this growing community, Mountaineer Moment, as we near 500 subscribers on YouTube. Simply blown away by that, and would love for that to keep growing. Love to keep growing this community here on Mountaineer Moment. So get here, join in, hit that subscribe button, be in the know, and we have new content coming your way. Again, we said in that intro, this is a recap episode of the Mountaineers' win over Arizona State on the road, 75-63. A big win for West Virginia. Again, this is not only their first road win, where they were 0-2 on the road, but they were 0-4 on neutral site games to put your 6 losses on the season. So they were 12-0 at home, 0-2 on the road, 0-4 neutral site. And here in game 19 of the season, you get your first win away from Hope Coliseum. So that is a big one. You get to 4-2 in Big 12 play, right, folks? Don't look now, but West Virginia is sitting at 4-2 in Big 12 play, and their only 2 losses are not bad company. A loss on the road at Iowa State and a loss on the road at Houston, 2 of the best teams, the best programs in the country. And those are their 2 losses in conference, so not too shabby there. Both of those teams ranked inside the top 10. Iowa State's ranked 9th at 16-2. Houston at 17-1 and unbeaten in conference play. So we're going to talk about what this one looks like toward the end of the episode. We're going to get, bigger picture. What are we talking here with this win for the Mountaineers? We're going to talk about Honor Huff tonight and his struggles. And although he struggled, West Virginia was able to pull out a win, which you like that because he was your leading scorer entering this game. Mountaineers' second-half defense turned it up a notch in order to get this double-digit win. Mountaineers were trailing by double digits at one point in the first half, cut it to just a 2-point deficit at halftime. So we'll talk about what their defense did in the second half, what we liked. Treysen Eaglestaff, a back-to-back 20-point performance from him. Loved what you see there. And again, just big, just really big to get a win on the road in Big 12 play, to get to 4-2 in conference. And obviously, I know I said we'll get to the big picture later, but obviously if you want to do anything of significance, if we can say it that way, this season, you need to start winning some games on the road. And against Arizona State, there's no easy road win in the Big 12. There's just not. But you would take your chances more so against an Arizona State than you would against a Houston or an Iowa State, right? And so this was one, if you're going to win one on the road, maybe this is one you get. And you get it. So big win, and super thrilled about that. But we have to jump into this thing and talk about Treysen Eaglestaff, a guy that's caught a lot of heat for his performance early in the season in the non-conference play, but he was the best Mountaineer on the floor tonight, with Belo, Brendan Lorian not too far behind with the sneaky 15-point performance for him, 4 boards, 4 assists. But Eaglestaff, 23 points. A lot of those coming in the first half, but did his thing in the second half, driving to the hoop for an and one as well. 23 points, 8 of 14 from the floor, 7 boards, 2 assists. I thought he had a couple assists, obviously, 2 assists, but he had a couple plays that he really made a nice pass on as well. So you can just tell the confidence growing. We've said it over the last few games. His confidence continues to grow, but 23 points against Arizona State tonight. He had 22 on Saturday at home against Colorado. He's finding a groove, right? He's been in double figures 4 of the last 5, and 4 out of 6 total in conference play. He had 12 against Kansas, 10 against Cincinnati, again 22 against Colorado, and 23 against Arizona State tonight. He was really good. You could have seen him going for 30 the way that he was looking tonight. Obviously, down the stretch, you win this one by 12. He didn't have to start firing up shots, but he had that look in his eye. He had that step, or that bounce in his step, I should say. And it was just a really pleasant, not surprise, but a pleasant looking performance from Treysen Eaglestaff, and one that you needed him to have, considering Otter Huff simply did not have it tonight. So Treysen Eaglestaff, have a day, my friend. 23 points. Really, really, really good. Really big performance from him. And you love to see it. Confidence stacking. 20 back-to-back 20-point performances, one at home, one on the road in Big 12 play is significant. 38 minutes played for Eaglestaff again, so he's been playing a lot of minutes lately. Played a lot of minutes in that game against Kansas where he had 10 or 12 or whatever I just said. But, man, for as much as that kid has seemed to deal with over the last couple months in this season with people, saying he shouldn't have gotten paid what he got paid in the NIL because he hasn't been that good, or he's underperforming, or was not Big 12 caliber. You name it, it's been said about Eaglestaff and his performance inconsistency to start the season. But now we're seeing some consistency. And again, I think it goes beyond just the last two games. I would say, and I can't remember what game I said this after, but you can go back and watch if you really want to go and find this if you don't believe me. But there was probably a couple games, I don't know, early or mid-December, so a month and a half ago, and I was like, maybe Eaglestaff didn't play the best, but I like the fact that he was being aggressive. I thought we saw a more aggressive, more confident Eaglestaff, even though the numbers weren't necessarily there. And, that's going back a while before we really found this groove that he's been in over the last couple games. But I could just see it, man. Early season, yeah. Confidence was shaky. It looked like he looked lost because he was so used to being, I remember saying this too, right? You can go look at it. It seemed like Eaglestaff, for a while, was trying to find his role on this team because he was so used to, probably from elementary school on, being the guy, right? At North Dakota, he was the guy. That's why he dropped 51 in a game in the conference tournament and dropped 40 on Alabama, because he was the guy. I think, if I remember correctly, it could be the wrong number, but I think he had like 100 more shot attempts on the season than the second most shot attempts on that team at North Dakota. So, he was the guy. Comes to West Virginia, big boy basketball, Big 12. I get that a lot of these guys are coming from lower major schools as well, but, it's an adjustment because you're playing with better guys, better players, better teammates. You're playing against better teams, and so it's going to be difficult. And we got a feel for that in the early going when whether it was against really low quality opponents where the West Virginia won, but it didn't look like Eaglestaff contributed much. Whether it was against Clemson or Xavier, where I think he had 20, but he shot the ball a lot. Some games he looked lost. Wake Forest, there was one of those games he didn't take a shot. Ohio State, I don't think he played particularly well. I get that we're spending a lot of time on Eaglestaff here, but now I'm going to pull up some of his numbers. Yeah, against Clemson, he had 5. Against Wake, he had 0. No shot attempts, 10 minutes played. Ohio State, he had 5 on 1 of 9. But, again, since then, and in particular, the last two, 22 points, 23 points, 9 of 14 and 8 of 14. He made 6 threes tonight against Arizona State out of 9 shot attempts. He needed all of that in that 75-63 win. So, shout out to Treysen Eaglestaff, man, for the confidence, the growth that we've seen over the last few games, and I'm happy he's a Mountaineer. 38 minutes played, 23 points, 6 of 9 from 3, 7 boards for Eaglestaff, leading the way for the Mountaineers. Now, elsewhere in the box score, again, Otter Huff did not particularly have, we'll skip down to that on that outline for you. Otter Huff, 8 points, 2 of 9, 2 of 8 from 3, made 1 3 late when the game was already settled. So before that, he was 1 of 7. So struggled mightily. He had 3 points for a very, very long time, finished with 8. Jasper Floyd, timely baskets, 5 of 6, 12 points, 2 of 3 from 3. 1 second-half rainbow 3 that he made that was really big to extend West Virginia's lead as they didn't look back. 5 boards, 4 assists, and 3 steals to go along with 2 turnovers. So really solid performance from Floyd tonight in 30 minutes. Obioha, 6 points, just 1 rebound and 1 assist in 23 minutes. DJ Thomas off the bench had 5 points and 4 boards in 19 minutes, including an and 1 from him. Made the free throw, which was really a good bucket for him after he actually dished it. I remember he dished it to Eaglestaff, top of the key, hustled in for the rebound, got in position, grabbed it, put it in for the and 1. And then round out the starting lineup again, Belo, 15 points, 7 out of 11 from the floor, made his only 3, 4 boards, and 4 assists. From Lorient, Chance Moore, another relatively quiet night, scoring and minutes played, 6 points, 1 of 4, got to the line 5 times, made 4 free throws in just 13 minutes. Compare that with Eaglestaff at 38. So we've seen a trend, since both of these guys have been in the lineup. Whoever's got the hotter hand is going to play the more minutes. And so tonight it was Eaglestaff against Colorado. It was Eaglestaff against Kansas. It was Eaglestaff. Chance Moore had just 9 minutes against Colorado, just 14 minutes against Houston. You throw that back to when he first, or the middle of the session when he was playing start Big 12, played 33 minutes against Iowa State. Against Ohio State, he played 41 minutes. Cincinnati played 24 minutes, had 14 points, but that's the last time he was in double figures. Since then, Chance Moore, 6, 0, 2, and 6 over the last 4 games for the Mountaineers, 3 of those coming as wins for West Virginia. So if you can find a way, and it's easier said than done because there's only so many minutes to be shared, only so many points to go around, but if you can find a way for Eaglestaff, Huff, Moore, Belo, Jasper, Obioha, Thomas, all of these guys, I just named 7 guys that are, pivotal players on this team, but if you can get all these guys to play well at the same time, watch out. Watch out. So, Chance Moore a little quiet. But let's talk about what this West Virginia team did in the second half defensively, because in the first half, Arizona State put up 37 points in that first half. 37 points. They were shooting well over 50%, and then I think the second half they shot around 35, 36%. So West Virginia's defense really improved. They won the second half 40-26, 14-point margin for a 12-point win for West Virginia. But their second half defense was really good. Mo Odom leads the charge for them offensively. He had 17 points and 8 assists, so solid performance, which you expect out of him. 6 of 14 from the floor. They made just 5 out of 15 from 3. We mentioned coming into this game that they had a shaky 3-point defense, and that proved to be the case. 11 for 24 from West Virginia for 46%, and that's including Huff going 2 for 8. So shout out to Eaglestaff, 6 of 9, Belo 1 of 1, Jasper 2 of 3 from downtown to get you to that 11 of 24. West Virginia made the free throws, 10 of 13, and then 51% shooting for West Virginia from the floor, which you'd like to see, 27 of 53. Tonight in the 75-63 win for West Virginia. But, coming into that second half, it's a 2-point game. Honor Huff knocks down that 3 for his first 3 where he sat for a while at the end of that first half at the buzzer. 75-63 is the final, but they went into halftime 37-35 trailing. And that was a big shot. And as you went into that second half, obviously your confidence was in Eaglestaff, but you knew, I had a feeling obviously too, I think you probably had a feeling, West Virginia needed to get some stops defensively. You needed to really buy into, what Ross Hodge wants to do here, and you don't want to go up and give 40 points in the second half, or else you're going to lose. They gave up a 26-point half, several different scoring droughts from Arizona State because West Virginia's defense just, tightened things up and looked really good, which is an encouraging thing, because if you've been here any amount of time on Mountaineer Moment, you've heard me talk about West Virginia's second half defense has been poor in some of these losses. So it's encouraging on a number of fronts because you trailed at half by 2, you're on the road, and this is a team that likes to get up and down and score. And you held them to 26 points in the second half on their home floor, and you come out with a 12-point win. So that's really, really, really encouraging from the Mountaineers here. Jop, the big man, 7-footer, really impressed me tonight. 14 points, 5 rebounds in 33 minutes for him. He and Odom obviously leading the way 17-14. But as far as the big picture is concerned, we'll round this one out here. Big picture things, again, don't look now. Don't look now, but West Virginia is 4-2 in the Big 12. And their 2 losses come against Iowa State and Houston on the road. So I don't know if you can ask for much better through 6 games for West Virginia. You pick up a win against Cincinnati. You pick up a win against Kansas. And now back-to-back. String wins together. Colorado and Arizona State. West Virginia, obviously. I think I said 3 out of 4, but they've won 4 out of 5. They lost to Iowa State. You win 2, Cincinnati and Kansas. You lose at Houston. Now you win 2 more, Colorado, Arizona State. Big picture, that's a good thing. You've won 4 out of 5 in the Big 12. And so I think this win proves a few things. Because there were... I'd say aside from the Colorado game, which was not a slouch of a win, it's a big win. But I'd say the last 3 wins, excluding that one, so Cincinnati, Kansas, Arizona State, you proved something along the way. Against Cincinnati, you proved you could beat a power conference opponent because you hadn't done that, right? West Virginia, if we're going to be talking about this team in March and resume, well, you hope that they're not going to be kicking themselves for doing absolutely nothing in the non-conference because that's exactly what they did. And they weren't without opportunities. We know the story. Clemson, Xavier, Wake Forest, Ohio State, neutral site games, you lost all of them. Killer. Absolutely killer. And then you come against Cincinnati, you start conference play, you don't have a win on your resume yet, not saying Cincinnati's like this amazing resume builder, but you finally beat a team with a pulse. You finally beat a team in a major conference. That proves something that you can actually do it. Because up to that point, the Achilles heel of this team is that they beat up strictly on just teams that aren't in their stratosphere quality of opponent, and you beat up on them. Winning against Cincinnati, you proved that you can beat a power conference team. Against Kansas, at home, well, you got an 11-point win against them. You proved that you can beat a ranked team. You prove that you can beat a team with 5-star recruits. You prove that you can beat a team with NBA draft lottery picks. You prove that you can beat a team that's a blue blood. You prove that you can outcoach Bill Self in the second half of that game. You proved a lot of things in that win against Kansas to yourself and to the world that you belong here. If you're Ross Hodge and these players, mid-major guys coming up to the Big 12, they didn't belong here, well, you beat a ranked Kansas team at home by 11 points in a big second half. Right, you proved a lot, and that game had to grow your confidence. All right, against Colorado again, I don't think you necessarily proved anything there. You proved that you could defend home court once again to extend your home winning streak. Now Arizona State tonight, you hadn't won away from the Coliseum, you hadn't won on the road, you just had not won a game outside of Morgantown, and it's January 21st, and so you go on the road, Big 12 play, middle of the week, Wednesday night. On Peacock, and you beat Arizona State after being down double digits in the first half. You beat them by 12 because of a great performance from Treysen Eaglestaff and Brennan Laurent, and because of a second-half defense that turned things up a notch. You proved in this one that you can win a game away from West Virginia. This was a game in which, up until this point, the only thing you had proven is that you can win at home. You had not shown that you can win on the road, and so there was no reason to believe that you could. But you turn the narrative around, and you win a game away from Hope Coliseum in Morgantown, and you get to 4-2. So you're proving things with each of these wins that you stack, and as you get to 4-2 in conference play, a big picture type of thing here, you got Arizona on the road. Number 1 Arizona, who just smacked Cincinnati tonight and beat them by 26 at home, held them to 51 points. You got Arizona on Saturday afternoon. That's going to be tough. That one's on CBS. We'll cover it. We'll talk about it pregame here coming up soon. You got Kansas State and Baylor at home, 2 teams that are struggling in Big 12 play. Baylor sitting at 1-5. Kansas State also 1-5. Right? And so far, grand scheme, what you've proven through 6 games in conference play is that you're not the worst of the worst in the Big 12. You got Utah, Kansas State, Arizona State, and Baylor sitting at 1-5. You got Cincinnati, Colorado, TCU, Oklahoma State sitting at 2-4. Right, that's there you go. Bottom half of the Big 12. West Virginia's not in the bottom half of the Big 12. They're 4-2. They're tied with Iowa State in conference play, 4-2. Kansas is 4-2 in conference play. Okay, so like you're proving some things. Is Arizona gonna be a really, really tough test? Yes. Are you gonna be favored, or is Arizona State gonna be? Excuse me, talking too fast. Is Arizona gonna be favored by double digits in that one? Yes. Might they win by 20? Yes. But you have a ranked win, you have a road win, and you're 4-2. I mean, you want to be around that 500 mark at the end of the season, if not a little better, because, again, you did yourself no favors in conference play. We're not going to go too deep down that rabbit trail. But the reality is you're 13-6 overall, you're 4-2 in conference play, and you have opportunities galore coming up. You got number 1 Arizona. You want to build a resume? Beat them. Easier said than done. K-State, Baylor, Cincinnati, again, on the road. Texas Tech. That's the next few games here. Opportunities are there. Tough test on the road. We'll cover it, but it's really good to get a win against Arizona State on the road, and it's a confidence boost for this team that's still figuring things out, that's still, attempting to believe that they belong here, buying into this fact that Ross Hodge and these players belong here on this stage in the Big 12. And so it's really, really good to get a road win. Big confidence boost. The Road Warriors get it done, the Mountaineers, and this was a big one. We'll talk about Arizona when it comes, because it's coming. The Wildcats, Mountaineers got to go visit them here on Saturday, and we'll preview that one. That's going to be your next episode here on Mountaineer Moment, so be on the lookout for that. Again, episode 132 of Mountaineer Moment. I'm a little under the weather. I don't know if you can tell, so I'm going to go to sleep. 132, and we'll see you next time on Mountaineer Moment. Let's go Mountaineers.